Citizen Sleeper continues. So, there's the freighter, and it's back in again. Unload containers, endurance +1. That pays a wage. Good, because I need it. This is where I can buy scrap here. Which I need. I could do with scrap. The compressor is quiet today, the usual crowds are elsewhere, and the pumping music washes over a handful of spacers and a few drunks. Ethan is still in the same stool in the same pool of light. His head is low, close to the bar, and the bartender is ignoring him. Approach him. As you get closer, he lifts his head and turns sleeper. He turns to look at you. Time to pay up again, is it? Ah! I should not have selected that option. Gotta do it. Got no choice. Whoops, I think the game just crashed and... I hope it didn't save. I don't have any money at the moment, I can't pay that guy. Phew, it's taken me back. Phew. Don't click Ethan. You can play the exchange. Sabine, the slum doctor. Yeah, if I had 300 cryo, I could buy a shipmind core. Of course I don't. Four cycles have been said, and here you are, right on time with no sign of them. You wait a while in the apartment, the dread descending as the cycle spins onward. They should be here. Check the terminal. You check and double the terminal for messages or recordings. Nothing, just the pale glow of the silence. Check the door. You pace back and forth around the apartment, the rumbling of the station suddenly so present and loud. You go to the door and open it to an empty corridor. You close it again. Wait. You try to settle down to wait. You sit on the bunk and stare at the tiny room. Where the hell are they? A knock at the door. Stay still or open it. Stay still. Another knock. Stay still. A flash, small, impossibly bright, cuts through the handle of the door. It soundlessly swings open. A figure stands at the door, and immediately you know it is not Sabine. They are taller, sharper, and something in their face glints in the half-light. A dark shape, like a stubby baton, hangs loose from her hand. Our local sleeper, good to finally meet you. She steps into the apartment, glancing around with sharp eyes. What, may I ask, are you doing here? She fixes you with a steady, unwavering stare. Waiting for a friend. Of course, a mutual friend of ours, the good doctor. She walks past you into the apartment, glancing around. We set them up here, you know, the place is one of ours. She picks a glass from the dispenser and inspects it. People always seem to forget who put them where they are. She glances at you, and I suppose you are here to help? Where are they? Something like that. No. I was hoping you would be able to help with that. She spins the baton in her fingers by her side, her eyes not leaving yours. We have a problem, you and I. It seems our friend has disappeared, left without even saying goodbye, which means they are in a little trouble now. but it's the kind of trouble that you need help for, so I thought I'd come down here and take a look. Their little hidey hole, and here you are, the help. She looked through the detritus on the side. And what help a sleeper, no less, which I have to admit is a little surprising. It suggests to me that our friend hasn't been very honest with you either. What do you mean? Well, I'm sorry to report that before we got them set up here, Sabine was working for your owners. You blink hard at the news, unsure how to take it. Prove it. I don't believe you, or stay silent. Prove it. Happily. She crosses into the next room and you follow silently. She sits at the terminal and touches her button to one of the access ports. A spark, then the terminal screen skips. Encrypted folders emptying themselves before your eyes. In the flicker of files you see S and ARP letterheads and code forms, reports laden with medical data, marked with the corporate logo like a signal of some cult. Rabia steps away from the terminal. Look all you want, some of your files may even be there. The volume of documents is overwhelming, but they seem to be mostly reports on early emulation tests, surveys with sleeper candidates, reams and reams of usage data. If Sabine was an SNARP employee, why did they help you? Rabia reaches over and places a vial of stabilizer on the desk, breaking your concentration. It shimmers in the streetlight, its vicious clear liquid crystalline within the glass. We will of course keep up the supply. We are more than able to dispense important medicines even without the doctor. You hold it between your fingers and for a tiny moment, you have the urge to crush this object for the power it has over you. I'll ask Toshiro to make those a little cheaper for you. He'll be running the surgery now. Rabia closes up the briefcase lab and holds it at her side. We have to retrieve our assets, of course, but I'm sure you understand. Rabia turns on her way out. There is no reason for us to be enemies, Sleeper. Come see me. I keep an office nearby. We have good work to do, you and I. Meet me there in a few cycles. She slips out silently into the corridor. You look around the apartment and feel the fear drain out of your body to reveal the tiredness beneath. Got an upgrade. I've got one upgrade point right now. Transfer intercept, which leads over to icebreaker over here. That's a chance to gain cryo on interface actions. I started with a -1 on this one here, so it's going to be very hard to level up this branch. Thrill Seeker, chance to gain energy after any engage action. I quite like the sound of transfer intercept. So I'm going to go grab that. So this is Rabia's office. A constant flow of people seem to be visiting Rabia's office. You need to wait your turn. I've been given another stabilizer, so I got one of those. And when I come here in the future, this has gone down from 100 to 80. So I'm going to unload containers. I've got my dice here. I get cryo and energy. And buy some scrap now for 20. I do have an allowance here for scrap, so the big stuff goes to the shipyard, the valuable stuff to the markets. They'll let you buy a few crates, but not much more. And I have a lot of choices of things to do. Need a ship mind. Crossing the shipyard as well. I got a risky option and I've got a danger option. Both of these is +1 on the dice as well, so I'm going to try that. Increasing the yard hand. The only way to get to know the shipyard is to work there. I've got the 1 good dice left, and I have a lot of options here because I can also go across to Greenway, and I've got things that I can potentially do here as well. Like walk the Greenway. And I can work the stacks. A safe option. I can work the grow beds, work the canteen. You got to work your way in to become part of the commune. And there's a gather scrap option here. But it's a danger option. I'm doing it 100% positive. 2 scrap components. And I'm out of dice. Across to the rim. All I can do now is go home. Another option here now, so I have perk sunbathe over here, I've got perk self-repair over here. So rather than using the stabilizer, I can put 1 scrap in here and patch up your damaged body with scrap components. The result isn't pretty. And inject stabilizer over here. End the cycle. You aren't finished with this cycle. Complete active scenes to I can't. I'm not allowed to. Active scenes. Okay. So I'm being forced to do some things here. So this flashing one here is an active scene, and it's Ethan. So yeah. You're gonna be forced to do it. Let's go to Ethan. I can leave or approach him. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to just leave. This is ridiculous. You go to turn, but Ethan calls out Sleeper. He turns to look at you. Time to pay up again, is it? No more, Ethan. Ethan doesn't even look at you. He props his elbows on the bar and holds his head. Sleeper, it's been a long cycle. Enough. Ethan lets out a long sigh. He rapidly rubs his eyes with his palms. You're right, he says quietly. This isn't fun anymore. He reaches towards his holster. His elbow slips and the gun tumbles out. It clatters on the bar and falls to the floor, bouncing onto the ground between you. Both you and the bartender look at the gun, stare at it. Butterfinger, says Ethan, and puts out a hand beckoning for you to give him the gun back, if you would. The bartender looks at you warily. You crouch down and pick up the gun. Point the gun at him or hand him the gun. Oh. Point it. Ethan turns his head in your direction, a little sharp pale eye locking with yours. The bartender backs away. Oh, he turns on the stool. Oh, Sleeper, he stands. This is more like it. Pull the trigger. You don't wait, you pull the trigger. The gun clicks, but now all the attention in the bar is on you and Ethan, who looks at his gun with a bemused expression. The bartender raises an open hand, and in it are 10 shiny bullets. 10 shiny bullets he took out of the Ethan's gun while he was asleep on the bar. Ethan smiles at the bartender. Oh well, he says, and grabs the gun, slamming it back into your face in a single move. You stagger back and drop to a knee. Somewhere nearby the gun clatters onto the surface. They hit a glancing blow that makes your vision swim. Through the blur you see Ethan wrestle a small thin slate from his belt and hold it up. Enough of this. I'm logging the job and calling it in. Ethan taps at the slate. No more play. Your head aches. Ethan taps at blah 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 blah. They cancelled the contract. I'll be back for that. Okay, so can I finally do this now? Yeah, end the cycle. Pretty rubbish dice. I could buy a shipmine fragment here for 60. Don't have it. And I can't haggle because it's locked. Gonna go do this again. I think I will, yeah. I get some energy back and I get some cryo. Now I've only got rubbish dice left. The dice man. So I'm going to come in here and do these. Yes again, Agent. And I've just got a 3 dice left. Not really sure where I'm going to put that. Danger, risky. E. Both is still. Bar shift. Risky. Maybe work on that. I'm not sure. There's a lot of segments here, so that's only just filled one of them. So it looks like this will take a long time. I'm already out of dice. Go home and cycle again. Energy's way down at this point, and got some new dice. I think I might use this one on Sunbathe, try it. Get some energy back. Right. The weakest dice. Maybe out down here. That's a new one. So I'm going to have to deal with that, whatever that is. Come back in here and unload containers. Get some cryo. So many choices. I might want to work on this actually, because I'm spoke climber. Risky as scaling it, that's a good dice. Spoke climber, yeah. I completed it. So I can ascend to the hub now. More options. The hub is the station main dock. Here, there's a space of socializing, a risky option. Repeatable action, access manifests, another risky option. Both of these leading to Weightless Wanderer. Up here there is no gravity, so even just moving around takes a while to get used to, let alone navigating the bays. But yeah, some more options, and I'm out of dice. I have to face this. As you approach the address, Rabia gave a heavy handful on your shoulder. What's your business here? The enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength her implants give her. As you turn to see the same subsidiary eyes as Rabia and Toshiro have, glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Jaya, please, the sleeper is here by my invitation. Rabia's command, the hand immediately loosens, and an apologetic look replaces the scowl on Jaya's face. Of course, I'm sorry. Rabia waves her away. Don't you worry, I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles at the enforcer. How about you head to the tambour? They have a delivery coming and they'll need some help with the lifting. So, Sleeper, you came, I'm glad. I didn't feel like an offer. I was curious. Or it didn't feel like an offer. Curious is good, she smiles a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Speed's unit, I wasn't sure where we stood. There are more than a few people on this station who would rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. Not yet. She laughs. I like your sense of humour, but let me ask you a serious question for a moment. What do you know about Yatagan? This is a loyal Yatagan lieutenant here. You are a gang, you run the low end or nothing. Come on, Sleeper, humour me. I know we have a reputation. People with carts push past, moving crates of supplies around the thin and winding passages. Our reputation is one that implies threat. Is that fair to say? We are framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. She gestures round at the people in the passageway. But when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye? A policeman? Who makes the laws here? Havenage? Yes, they like to believe so, don't they? By claiming a lineage that extends back into Erlin's Union, they assume the burden of authority. But they have no authority here out past the Bright Market, where few work in their shipyard or pay for their docking berths. If you had spent your time in the low end, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The low end was empty in Erlin's time. They didn't need to house thousands, and keeping the yards and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the low end was reclaimed later when the refugees started arriving. Rabaya meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here on the station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned, the moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. The Eye became a refuge, and Erlin, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone, but many within his organisation disagreed, and those new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they hoped. Rabaya leads you through a small market hall busy with small stores and traders. Erlin's Union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organised into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families were scared, injured, desperate. Conflict was inevitable. Yet again is a child of that conflict, a child born out of need for us to stand up and claim our future. To provide security strength, people call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as lieutenant seriously, and from my birth I've worked to earn it. Rabaya catches herself before she raises her voice any further, and you both walk in silence for a while among the smells and textures of the low end. You start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. Where do I come into this? Rabaya smiles to herself and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe that you understand the importance of a refuge, so I also believe that you wish to help keep this place safe. She exhales quietly. For this reason, I would like you to trust me. I do not know what's been told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I will be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable with having Sabine as part of Yatagan, an ex-corporate employee. It goes against our nature, but their deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance, made sure Sabine had their surgery, kept it supplied, that was all. But I cannot allow people to go back on the promises they have made to us. Yatagan has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support. Any betrayal will be treated as an attack. They were trapped, desperate. Who is Yannick? Yannick is one of the heads of Yatagan. They guide us. He is the newest to be elected. He is an elder. Sabine found something. Please, I don't want to hear their accusations. They only wanted to escape their debt. They would have said anything. But where are they now to stand behind their claims? Stay silent. You realise that Rabaya has led you in a loop, and together you both come back up a staircase to the walkway where you met. You are free to go, Sleeper. I have said what I wish to say. She looks out through the windows of the walkway. I would protect this place with my life as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. She turns back. However, if you two wish to come under its protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish, and there will be tasks for you to complete. You will be able to see yet again, to see the low end with your own eyes, not as others frame us. As for Sabine, she pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them, but if they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabia leaves, slipping back into her office while you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story that make up the low end. So, new one. Patrol the ward risky. Collect teeths risky. Both of these lead to yet again insider. I'm out of dice, also out of time for this part of this video. So I have to end cycle. And I come back with crap dice for next time, and see you next time.